Good morning. May the Lord bless you, whoever you are listening to this message. I'd just like to share a few thoughts this morning on the Lord's Day about going to church, specifically about getting ready to go to church. As a married man with a family, it seems to be getting harder as the kids are getting older to get everyone ready to go to church. Getting longer to get everyone ready. When the kids were small, you dressed them, you bathed them, you got them ready, you put them in the car. It was easier. But as they get older and become teenagers, it just becomes harder and harder. And probably many people listening to this message this morning has the same problem. Getting everyone ready to go to church, and you get in the car and you go to church, and you try and keep things in a nice mood in the car before you get to church, because you don't really want to be getting to church when you wind it up, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you and the missus or me and the missus will have a few words, or the kids will have a few words, or something will happen and you'll be in a bit of a huffle walking into the doors into the church. And then you get in and you try and enjoy the meeting, and sometimes it doesn't fully meet your expectations. Sometimes you think, well, the worship wasn't quite as good as it should have been, or the word wasn't as good as it should have been, or I didn't particularly like the prayer, or your mind is wandering off to something else and you're thinking about other things, and you just don't seem to be in that zone, should we say. Should we use those words, in the zone? And you kind of come away from church after an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long the meeting goes on for. And you come away kind of thinking, well, I went to church, I ticked the box, I did what I have to do, but I didn't really get anything from it. This has happened to me, personally, many times. But I came to realize, as time went by and I started to grow a little bit in the Lord, I started to realize something. How am I getting ready to meet with my brothers and sisters in the Lord on a Sunday morning? Yeah, sure, I get up, I get dressed, I make myself look presentable, I make sure I have my Bible in the car, I try and get the kids ready with the wife, get them in the motor, tell them to do stuff. But that ain't getting ready to meet with my brothers and sisters in the Lord. That's not getting ready to spend time with the Lord in the presence of other believers. There's a psalm I like to read, Psalm 63, and it says this. It's a psalm of David when he was in the wilderness, and it says, O God, verse 1, O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. So I have looked for you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. You see, I'm quite an early riser, and maybe people listening to the messages, they get up early as well to go to work. And maybe like a lot of other Christians, you get up a little bit earlier, and you have that little bit of time with the Lord in the morning before you go to work, because you know that you need that little bit of time of prayer. You know that you need that little bit of time of reading your word, just so you can face the day ahead. But yet, on a Sunday, we seem to relax from that. On a Sunday, we think, it's a day of laying in, because I haven't got work to go to, so you know what, I'll lay in. And subconsciously, we work out, in our minds, how long we can lay in bed for. Well, I know I have. I think, it'll take me 30 minutes at a sensible driving pace to get to the church. It's going to take probably an hour to get ready, so you know what, I'll get up an hour and a half before church. So church is at 10, I'll get up at 9. And I've done that many times, and I've just gone through the whole process of what I explained earlier in the message. of all the hustle and the bustle of trying to get ready, and I get into church, I'm all in a bit of a fluster. Why don't we get up earlier? Why don't we rise early, get ourselves out of that bed? Yes, it's a Sunday. Yes, we feel like having a lay-in because it's the only day that we get off. But as Christians, we'd never get a day off. Because we're Christians 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every minute, every second of the day, we're Christians. So on a Sunday morning, why don't we get up that little bit early and spend that little bit of time with the Lord to prepare our hearts to meet with our brothers and sisters in the Lord? And why don't we spend a little bit of time in prayer and ask the Lord to be in us and among us in the meeting, and to pray for the time that we're going to have together, and to pray for our brothers and sisters who are coming together, to pray for our worship that it may be acceptable and praiseworthy to God, to pray for the prayer time that we're going to have with one another as we offer our thanksgiving and praise to God in our prayers, to pray for the minister, as much as you may like or dislike him, to pray that he will be in the right frame of mind, that the Holy Spirit will be working through him, and that he will speak, and the message will speak to him and to the congregation, and that we all would be edified and lifted up in the body. Why don't we get up that little bit earlier and spend that time with the Lord? And here's something I've learned. Now, I'm not saying that I always do this, but when I get up that little bit earlier on a Sunday, and I spend that little bit of time with the Lord to pray for those things, I find that personally, I enjoy the meeting much more, that everything goes, well, it seems to go a little bit smoother getting there, and that the whole thing is a much more, how can I put this, is a much more refreshing time with my brothers and sisters. It's more refreshing and more re-energizing and more uplifting than having that extra hour in bed. And I can testify to that and say that I would say from my memory, nearly every time I've spent that extra time in the morning on a Sunday with the Lord, I've enjoyed the meeting a whole lot more. Now, we don't just go and meet together just to enjoy a meeting, but you know what I'm saying. The whole experience, the whole time of worship and prayer and the word ministered to us a lot better. Because here's the thing, when we come before the Lord in the morning and pour out all our cares onto him and spend time with him and draw close to him, our minds won't be wandering off during the meeting. Our minds won't be thinking about other things when we should be focusing upon prayer and worship and the minister and what he's saying to us. So let's take that time out in the morning. Let us spend that extra little bit of time with the Lord. I like to read this verse again. O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. God bless you, and thank you for listening.